Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. And a massive victory for Andy Murray. So we're going to talk about it post-match. Andy Murray versus Stefanos Tsitsipas, the Stuttgart Open quarter-final, or Boss Open. Looks very trendy, doesn't it? So Andy Murray, rolling back the years, kind of against Stefanos Tsitsipas. A really good win against the Greek player who came into the week very confident, saying he wanted 1,000 points from the grass court season before going into Wimbledon. And that would have meant winning this tournament, this 250 event, which I think I have to say has been really good so far. And of course, some other tournaments going on elsewhere as well. And of course, Queen's coming up. But a really good win for Andy Murray, and he'll be playing at Queen's, and he'll take a lot of confidence from this. He makes his way into the semi-finals, beating Stefanos Tsitsipas 7-6 and 6-3 in the end. A really good win from the Greek, from the Brit and Scotsman. I'll say Scottish player, because a lot of people will say to me, "What's going on? Come on, don't say anything else." So what I would say is it did show the difference of surfaces, right? Because we talk about a clay court compared to a grass court, and they are worlds apart. And in some instances, I think, we can talk about, say, some clay courts compared to some hard courts, and a slower hard court compared to a faster clay court can play relatively similarly. Of course, the movement is the biggest difference, but apart from the way that the court actually plays, it can be quite similar. Grass court's completely different. We've gone from one extreme to the other, very slow Roland Garros clay court to these faster grass courts, and the ball zips through, keeps low, and that really suits someone like Andy Murray's game, who defensively is very good, returns extremely well. Means that he gets more bang for his buck on return, because he doesn't have to hit the return too hard. Needs to hit it kind of deep and flat, and he'll get a lot of acceleration through the surface. It'll help him out. For Tsitsipas is a good sign as well for serving, because of course he's got a big first serve and he's got a big forehand as well. A lot of topspin, although he tried to flatten it out today, but the one-hander, there will be question marks about that in terms of how that would hold up on the grass. And it's early days, but there's some signs, I guess, from both players as to how they might get on at Wimbledon. So the first set really tight, and both served pretty well in the end. I mean, if we're looking at the kind of the serve stats, and I'll do it more from a set by set than kind of match stats, because only two sets, of course. First serve percentage for Tsitsipas was 79%, really high. And then first serve points won 89%, second serve points won 71%. 5 aces to boot as well. Murray almost keeping up with him at 4 aces. First serves in 67%, but first serve points won almost the same as Tsitsipas at 86%. Second serve points won pretty kind of a lot lower at 57%, but he won't take too much from that because, again, right, both holding serve, taking it to a tiebreaker, really, really good. Tsitsipas, some good signs from him coming forward, trying to volley. Of course, we know he's good at the net for the most part. It's just the big question mark was going to be his transition game, because a lot of people were talking about how his toss, he's not really in front of him, it's kind of to the side of him. And that means that he'll find it harder to kind of come to net and transition. So that was definitely something to keep an eye out for. But he did make some really good serve volley plays and put them away. But at times, Murray passed him, and that's because he is an exemplary returner, as we know, and very good as well at passing people at the net. So very intelligent, of course, Andy Murray. So the first set, very nip and tuck, but Murray just managing the tiebreaker a lot better and just looked very solid off both wings. And I feel like the grass definitely gives his forehand, it doesn't mask it, but the forehand isn't as powerful or as hurtful as the backhand at times when he flattens it out. Like, not as much kind of acceleration through the court, but because of the quicker surface, it kind of does help his game. Whereas with Tsitsipas, his backhand, it will help it, but he doesn't like taking the one-hander very low. He doesn't mind taking it kind of shoulder height, which a lot of one-handers don't, but he doesn't like taking it low, that's for sure. And his slice isn't the best. I felt like that was kind of a big difference, whereas Murray's got the slice and the backhand drive is kind of really, really good on the grass. Set 2, then Murray kind of running away with it as well. 65% first serves in. First serve points won 76%, and a really telling stat was behind the second serve. He won 78% of points, so only lost 2 points behind the second serve. For Tsitsipas, a big drop-off. 54% of first serves in. 92%, though, behind the first serve, so only 1 point lost behind the first serve, but second serve points won only 27%, so only won 3 out of 11 there. So a big drop-off, I guess, in terms of serve stats, and a big, I think, thing to point out here from watching is that Murray, returning-wise, we know how good he is at returning, no doubt, but he is also able to move very, very freely on court. Didn't seem to have any type of kind of restrictions in terms of his body, was moving well, and he knows how to move well on the grass. I feel like Tsitsipas is still not 100% got to grips with how to move on the grass. Murray will slide, he knows and is comfortable with the footing. I think for Tsitsipas, it would have been a bit more difficult considering the fact that, he's just come off the clay, right? To then kind of move around the grass course different. He also played, I know, a Surbiton Challenger, actually, I think it was, Andy Murray as well. So that would have been a big, big plus, right? Because, yeah, the level of position is not the same, but the movement is on the same surface. And so that would have been a big plus. And not just that, he's got experience on his side. He's played a lot of grass court matches, and he almost kind of outmaneuvered Tsitsipas in this match, I'd say. Tsitsipas as well, the backhand block return needs to be improved. A lot of first serves from Murray kind of hitting that backhand side, especially on the serve out wide and down the tee. So out wide on the ad side and down the tee on the juice side into the Tsitsipas backhand. The first serve from Murray was firing pretty nicely, I have to say, hitting his spots. And he's got a big first serve, and on grass it's kind of exemplified or exacerbated even. And for Tsitsipas, similarly, I guess, right, with the first serve as well. But the big difference, I think, is the first serve is probably on grass about the same, I'd say. Not really much between them. But the return game, Murray definitely edges Tsitsipas. That was a big, big difference. He did try to kind of go forehand to forehand with Murray and was winning some of those exchanges, but backhand to backhand, he won't win those. And the longer the rally goes on, the worse off he'll probably be as well. Murray knows how to kind of maneuver and transition from defense to attack. And also utilize the forehand slice quite well, Murray, as well on the grass. And I don't think Tsitsipas likes hitting the ball at his ankles. I don't think he does at all. I think he likes those kind of, the clay courts or the ball really kind of rearing up onto him, and he's able to kind of get on top of it. To get under it, he doesn't look 100% comfortable on it. But yeah, really good win. Don't want to go on about this too much because, of course, it's not a Grand Slam match, but just an interesting kind of feeder into what we might see if they were to meet up at Wimbledon, and also just a reminder that yes, Tsitsipas might be an incredible grass court player. And who knows, he might go very deep at Wimbledon, but he's still got some things to work on. He's still got some time to work on them as well. And for Murray as well, a reminder that, look, yeah, he might be a bit older, but he knows how to handle himself on a grass court. And he's a very, very, very intelligent player. Right, thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Remember to hit that like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and do subscribe if you're new. We are going to be releasing our Wimbledon Power Rankings, our first Wimbledon Power Rankings of the season. Probably will be after these tournaments, these first round of tournaments. So it'll be probably Sunday evening or Monday. So do keep an eye out for those. But yeah, do remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And if you are a podcast listener or watcher, do remember to leave a rating, review, follow us, and leave a subscription as well, depending on the platform. Thanks very much, guys. See you later.